Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's Eric Beard here. I wanted to make a short video for you. Just finished a nice St. Patrick's Day workout. Hope you've got the wearing of the green going on for yourself and you're enjoying. It's also Membership Appreciation Day at the Longfellow Sports Club in Natick, where I work out of during the days. So part of it is we get dressed up with our bow ties and have a little bit of fun. I've taken off my uniform. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some shoulder shenanigans or mobility restrictions at the ankle joint or the shoulder joint, or considering soft tissue restrictions, considering true joint mobility restrictions, or strength deficits or neurological deficits. And I wanted to kind of touch on something that my friend Kristen Moore, who's a physical therapist at Integrative Therapeutics, to kind of share with me. She's been helping me with a lot of mobility issues for my ankle. More about those again at another time. But let's just look at a reach test that I've done with my friend Todd Foreman, another physical therapist. Let's compare my right to my left side. So if we give the anterior view, just a true sagittal plane reach, as I go through glenohumeral joint flexion, my right scapula must upwardly rotate to accommodate that movement so I don't have impingement between the humerus and the acromion or the tissues in between there. When you look at my right side, moves pretty good. Nice range of motion. I don't have to compensate at the side. Let's look what that looks like posteriorly. There you go. I take my shirt off, but taking my shirt off and turn around and talking, I don't know if I'm quite there yet. You know, posterior view with someone else doing it, it's fine. But let's go ahead and do the left side. So if you look at the left side, I cannot move as far. Let's compare from the posterior view. Right side, left side. I'm struggling pretty hard. So you might look at this as a soft tissue extensibility issue. If I'm getting glenohumeral joint flexion and I'm getting stuck, my glenohumeral joint extensors, such as latissimus dorsi, teres major, you might get posterior deltoid, you might get the long head of the tricep that are restricted in certain positions, even the distal portion of the pec, that have extensibility issues that will not allow that flexion, so they're keeping you into extension. That's an option. You could have an issue where that left scapula is not upwardly rotating, so the downward rotators of the scapula, whether it be the lat, the rhomboids complex, or levator scapula, that's keeping that scapula depressed on that side and almost downwardly rotated. That could be an issue where the tissue needs to become more extensible. It could be a strength issue of the glenohumeral joint flexors. It could be a strength issue of the scapulothoracic upward rotators. It could just be a neurological connection. But I'll give you a little trick here with me. I've worked on the soft tissue extensibility. I've tried working on the strength, but I've got some challenges making those connections from some old shoulder issues that I've had that were never cleaned up or rehabilitated completely. But watch this little cheat, this little assist. It's a self-mobilization. So right side looks pretty good. Left side gets stuck. But I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to grab onto that inferior angle of the scapula, and I'm going to pull it so it upwardly rotates. And let's see what the difference is here. So I start to come up, come up, come up. I start to get stuck, grab the inferior angle, boom, it comes right up. Let's give you a posterior view of that. Get a little stuck, grab the inferior angle, right up, oblique angle, right up. Very comfortable and a much different range of motion. So I'm actually assisting with the upward rotation of the scapula. So I've got some weakness in the upward rotators, but I'm having some challenge with that kind of firing pattern or activation pattern. But even with that little self-mobilization that I did, look at the difference in range of motion. So if I come through and I get 8 to 10 pumps where I'm pulling that scapula and upwardly rotating it, let's just do 3 and we'll see what happens here for me. I'm cranking pretty hard. I'm not forcing the humerus up. I'm really pulling across, but there's a big difference just by that assist, that self-mobilization. Lots of other ways to do it. So I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. It's not always just a tight muscle or a weak muscle. It's not always just a joint that's being stuck. Sometimes we have to learn how to use that range of motion. That's why the importance of the flexibility continuum that NASM talks about through the corrective exercise specialists, inhibit overactive muscles, lengthen short muscles, strengthen and weaken or inhibited muscles, or make that activation neurologically and integrate those into functional movement patterns are so important. You can have such creativity and draw from many different disciplines to create that, but the whole point is it's not just a weak muscle, it's not just a tight muscle, there's lots that go with that. So hopefully that helps you, and just see on yourself. If you stay in the sagittal plane, if you're restricted, Is it a restriction in scapulothoracic upward mobility? And what is it that you can do about it? But play around with that one. I'm Eric Beard. Thanks for watching. Happy St. Patrick's Day 2010. Have a great day.